So, guys, this week we are talking about nutrition. Last week was very mindset focused. We're doing a full nutrition breakdown today. And what we're going to go through is about tracking. Obviously, tracking is something that everyone inside the program is doing. And it's the quickest and the easiest way to get towards your fat loss goal. But I wanted to break it down step by step tonight and have everybody come away from this call, whether they're attending it live or watching back, that they feel like they've had a full breakdown on how to track, break it down to make it really simple, make it really easy, so that you can literally spend just 10 minutes per day tracking. Lots of you might have a different relationship to tracking. Some of you might find it really easy naturally. Others, maybe not so much. Maybe you find it a little bit boring, maybe a bit time consuming. These are all very normal things. But I want you to come away from this feeling like you could only spend 10 minutes per day tracking, so that you can do it really quickly, really easily, and obviously smash your goals inside the program. So, first of all, I wanted to break down why we actually do include tracking and why we do it. What gets measured gets managed. Tracking is data, essentially. It's data so that you know for a fact that you are in a calorie deficit, so that you can obviously lose weight sustainably every single week and get to your goal. It helps you to see what's really happening. It builds awareness of all your portion sizes and any hidden calories. It teaches you what foods fill you up and which ones really support your goals. It gives you control and flexibility, not restriction. And I'm sure that, lots of people say to me that they might have tried tracking before, they found it really restrictive, or they found it all consuming, they got obsessed, lots of these things. Um, in most cases, or in a lot of cases, it's not actually the tracking that's causing that. It's just that people haven't really been shown how to do it properly. And that's what I want to show you guys today, so that you don't have those feelings, that you only have positive feelings towards tracking. And you absolutely can have a really positive relationship with it. This is pretty crazy as well, but on average, we underestimate our daily calories by 20 to 25% per day. So that means that we think we're in deficit by not tracking, but actually we're over consuming daily by like 20-25%. So we're not in a deficit, even if we really think we are. So that's why tracking is so necessary, because it kind of eradicates all that human error. It's also a short-term learning tool that gives you long-term results and makes getting your long-term result much easier. Tracking isn't something you want to use all the time. It's not something you want to use all year round. It's more a tool that is really helpful and foolproof for you to use when you have a fat loss goal or a weight gain goal, whatever your goal might be. But most of the time, obviously, once we get to a goal, we want to kind of be in maintenance. And when we're more maintaining, we don't need to be tracking all the time. So the first thing I want to mention is just be consistent and try to not be perfect with this. Um, it's about having small daily accuracy and small daily consistency, and having some good days in there and having a few random bad days as well, because you're a human being and that's going to happen. The goal is to build awareness so that you can later down the line eyeball your portions a bit more confidently when you get to your goal weight. So once you hit that goal weight and you're more maintaining, you have a really good awareness of how much you can eat on a daily basis to maintain the weight that you're at really comfortably, not have to track absolutely everything. And that's the aim of the game. So let's go through the tools that you need to track. So everyone that's in the program, obviously you will know this, but what you're going to need is, first of all, you're going to need MyFitnessPal, and you're going to need Everfit, and you're going to need to make sure that they are synced together so that you can log everything into MyFitnessPal and it automatically pops up on Everfit, so that obviously Adam and I can see everything you're doing and can help you with that. Next thing, you need digital food scales on your counter in your kitchen. You need to save your favorite meals into the app. Once you log things, if you have a lot of meals that you eat quite frequently, I know for me, for example, I often eat the same breakfast a lot of the time just because I really like it. You can save that in the app, so it's really easy for you to log each day. And also just make sure that you use the recent or the frequent food section for speed. On MyFitnessPal, if you use specific ingredients quite frequently, it will kind of pop them up as suggestions. So make sure that you use that tool for sure, because it again makes it a bit quicker. And the 10-minute rule as well. So it might seem hard to believe right now if you're someone that maybe hates tracking, or you find it really boring, or it takes you ages. It doesn't need to take up your whole day, and it doesn't need to take hours. You can get to a point where you spend 5 minutes in your evening pre-tracking your food the night before for tomorrow's meals, and then you can spend 5 minutes in the day just logging any small tweaks or any small changes. That equals 10 minutes per day. And what I'm about to show you is how to achieve that and how to do that with just 10 minutes. And even though it might not feel like it in the moment when you're logging, you are going to save so much time not second guessing what you're eating. And this method and this way of doing it is going to make you get rid of decision fatigue, which is really important. So let's go through a step by step on how to track. I'm going to break this down so it's really simple. First things first, weigh everything and weigh all your food ingredients before cooking. Obviously, when we cook, we add oils, we add water to it, so it weighs differently. You want to make sure that whenever you're weighing your ingredients, do it dry before you cook. The next step, once you've done that, search for the exact food in MyFitnessPal. Check the serving size, make sure you've got the right measurement in there, and also make sure you've got the right brand if you're using something branded from a shop as well. Log everything, and I mean everything. The motto here is if you bite it, write it. So all your oils, all your sauces, even if it's just like a little dollop of ketchup on the side, track that. All your spreads, even if it's just like a little extra bit of butter on your toast, track everything. All your drinks, all your liquid calories. And even if you're cooking or doing something, you just have a little bite of food here or there, everything has to be tracked because what gets measured gets managed. There are a few things though that you don't need to log because they are all so low calorie, but also a lot of nutrition, so we don't need them. So, for example, salad leaves, leafy greens, your herbs and your spices, and also just black coffee as well. These things are super low in calorie anyway. Obviously, all the herbs and spices, the greens, the salad leaves, they are super low in calorie, but packed with loads of nutrients as well. So we want to be having a lot of them. You do not need to weigh out all your individual lettuce leaves. Life's too short for that for sure. Make sure that you adjust the portion size if needed. And if you're batch cooking, all you need to do, let's say you're batch cooking 4 meals, you just have to total up the entire meal and then just divide it. So if you're making 4 portions, for example, track the whole thing, divide it in four, and then you know exactly how much a serving is. That is literally a breakdown step by step on how to track. I want to go through now the power of pre-tracking. So pre-tracking, like I just mentioned, is logging your meals the day before so that you know exactly what fits into your calories. This is something that I really recommend and is something that you're able to do through a little bit of meal prepping. It removes guesswork, helps you stay on target throughout the day, and you're going to make much faster, much easier food decisions during really busy days. Whether you've got a hectic day at work or let's say you're with the kids all day, if you do a bit of pre-tracking for 5 minutes the night before, you're going to feel like a lot less of your day is clogged up or taken up by tracking. It's going to feel less time consuming, less boring, and it's not going to feel like so much of a pain. So pre-tracking is a huge recommendation. It's something you should definitely be using and making use of. So tracking do's, do be really honest and track every bite and every sip, even if it doesn't feel very significant. Oh, it's only like a little nibble of cheese or it's only a little bit of bread. If we do that daily, adds up very quickly and you can very quickly be out of your calorie deficit without even realizing. Every sip as well, people often kind of forget their liquid calories, so make sure that you always track those. Double check your entries, like whenever you log stuff, just double check, make sure you've got the right measurements in there, you've not missed anything. Do log your meals before you eat where possible, not the other way around. And also just repeat your meals fairly often just to save lots of time as well. I'm not saying that in order to be in a fat loss phase, you have to eat the same thing day in, day out. You definitely don't have to do that because that's boring. And also, we want to make sure we're having variety in our diet. But what I do think is super valuable when you're dieting is for each meal, so breakfast, lunch, and dinner, have 4 to 5 meals that you really enjoy eating that taste really good to you and fit with your daily calories. And just have 4 or 5 of those and just kind of rotate through them. You can save them as recipes into MyFitnessPal, and then it's the quickest logging ever that you could possibly do. That does really help to eradicate a lot of the kind of the angst and the fatigue around tracking, I'd say. And some don'ts as well. So definitely don't stress about being perfect. It's the same as everything in this journey. You're not going to get everything 100% right. You're going to make a couple of mistakes. You're going to forget to log something here and there. Don't worry about being perfect. As long as you're consistent 100% of the time, you do not need to be perfect ever. Don't get into the habit of like skipping meals to save calories. Try and hit your daily goal as much as possible so that you're well fed. And don't let tracking take up your entire day. Like we said, doing a bit of meal prepping, doing a bit of pre-tracking, that's going to really help you to feel like it takes only 10 minutes. And also just don't ever rely on memory. Make sure you log it straight away. Oftentimes, a lot of the human error comes in where we eat something, go, oh, I'll log that tonight when I'm not busy. Chances are you're probably going to forget something. You're not going to quite remember what you had. You're going to get the measurement off. So don't ever rely on your memory and try and do it straight away. If you bite it, write it. Talking just a little bit about meal prep as well. Obviously, this call's mainly about tracking, but just to say that tracking becomes quick only if you have some food ready to go. Doing meal prep, investing that little bit of time, that 30 to 60 minutes a week, prepping meals saves you hours and hours and hours of time in the week. And it also just completely removes decision fatigue, which is really key when you're dieting. It helps you to control your calories and most importantly, still enjoy what you eat as well because you're eating things that you really like that you know fits into your daily goals. Also prevents the kind of like just grabbing on the go, grabbing whatever's available moments because that's when it's very easy for us to slip out of our deficit and it's harder to control. Makes it much harder for you to go over your calorie goal. Um, and the final thing that I want to touch here is just talking about some common mistakes as well. So first of all, some things that I quite often see happen is people just kind of guessing or guesstimating portions instead of weighing out. That's a big room for error there. So rather than weighing everything and being certain, you're kind of just guesstimating, kind of eyeballing, especially in the beginning. You don't ever want to be doing that. Forgetting to log sources and forgetting to log your oils. Olive oil, loads of health benefits, great healthy fats, not demonizing it at all. But things like your cooking oils are very, very, very high in calorie. And quite often, if we're not accurately tracking that, again, super easy to slip out of your deficit. Forgetting to log your drinks as well. I've touched on this a bit, but your liquid calories, like your latte from Starbucks, your smoothie that you have, like all of those things, all of those coffees that you have with syrups and things like that. Never ever forget to log those, energy drinks, all that sort of stuff. Also, just kind of like using random entries from the app's database. So let's say, for example, if you made a lasagna, rather than individually tracking all your ingredients that you've used to make that lasagna, just typing lasagna into MyFitnessPal and just picking one. Even if it's like the right measurement or the right weight or the right serving size, the chances are that it's not going to be the same ingredients that you've used. So again, it's going to be pretty inaccurate. Giving up when they go over your calories as well. I know, you want to get it right and you want to get it perfect, but people often like they go over calories once or like for 1 week and then they just kind of want to throw the towel in straight away. Another big mistake is just not planning meals in advance. Like we mentioned with the meal prep here, I cannot stress how much easier meal prepping makes tracking. Just that little bit of organization and being prepared to do that for like 30 minutes to 60 minutes a week really does change the game and make things so much easier. So that's definitely food for thought for you guys if you don't do that currently. The final thing I kind of want to touch on is just thinking about the bigger picture. Um, I know that tracking is not the most fun thing. I am fully aware of that. Believe me, I have done so much tracking over the years, depending on what my goals are. And I know that there are days where you really don't fancy doing it and it doesn't sound like the most fun thing. But always remember your goal and always remember why you're here and what you want to achieve. The way to get that and the way to get to your goal weight and to achieve all your hopes and your dreams that we've all talked about together, tracking is the most reliable, the most accurate, and the fastest way for you to get to that goal sustainably. So never forget that. All the benefits that come with it as well. So you'll know your portion sizes by eye eventually. You'll naturally just make better food choices because you're educating yourself and you're just more aware of what you're putting into your body. You're going to understand your hunger and your energy levels really well. You will reach your goals faster, like I said, but without having to cut out all of your favorite foods. You definitely have room for that. And never forget that a little bit of discomfort now makes for a much easier life later down the line. Those moments where you think, oh God, I have to log my dinner, or I have to pre-track my food for tomorrow. If that thought comes up, just remember that embracing the discomfort, laying the groundwork, putting in a little bit of hard work now is going to massively, massively pay off later down the line when you get to your goal. Even if it doesn't feel that significant in the moment, it compounds and it adds up over time, and it really does make for an easier life further down the line. So always remember that if you ever catch yourself having those moments where you feel like, I really don't want to do this. It's normal, but sometimes it really just helps to have that bigger picture. To wrap up, action steps for you, whether you guys are watching this live or if you're watching this back on YouTube, your action steps. I want you to start doing a little bit of meal prep and pre-tracking your meals the day before. Even if it's just your breakfast, or even if it's your breakfast and your lunch, or just your dinner, start to pre-track something tonight for tomorrow so that you start to save loads of time during your working day or during your busy day. Log everything and just practice that for the next 7 days. Go all in and think for the next 7 days, I am going to track every single thing that I eat, no matter what. And it will end up taking you just 10 minutes a day once you practice. Build up the skill and build up the habit like you would in the gym, and always reflect on what you've learned each week, what's gone well, what you think you could do better next time. We never expect to go into the gym on day one and whack out 10 pull-ups unassisted. We know that that's going to take time. It takes building up strength, building up your muscles, building up your muscle memory, building up your strength and your confidence to get to that place. The exact same applies to your nutrition. And I think it's really easy to forget that because it doesn't necessarily feel the same as obviously training in the gym. But this is a new skill for loads of you guys, or lots of you guys maybe have dabbled in it a little bit before, not had much success, maybe because no one's really like properly shown you how to track. Never forget that all of this takes time and it takes a bit of practice. So you need to be willing to kind of be a student for a bit and to really learn that. I promise you, the same as how you get stronger every week in the gym, you get stronger at this every single day. And after a couple of weeks, it really won't feel too time consuming if you take these tips and go forwards. So I'm going to let you guys go. If any of you guys have listened to this live and you kind of go all in, drop me a message and let me know what your intentions are for the next 7 days if you're going to give this a go. But I'm going to let you guys go. Have a great rest of your evening and I'll catch you all on the next one.